establish a real authentic relationship with the creator. Because once that is happening in your life, and once you dedicate your attention, your intention to that process, you are connected to something so much higher that you could never fall back into the fear and into the ideas that you can be controlled by a dark hand behind the scenes. Friends, the US dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 70s when the dollar decoupled from gold. And the government seems bent on continuing the tradition. This means one thing: the security of your future and your family's future is all in your hands. Make sure you freeze the value of the wealth you're holding today. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments, as gold is proven to withstand recession, inflation, and just about all economic threats. Noble Gold Investments is here to help you if you want to invest in gold. You will also get a 24-karat quarter-ounce gold standard coin for free. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com now. noblegoldinvestments.com, the only gold company I trust. I wanted to talk today on the Cabal's PR agency. And I mean, you got to give it to them. They have a tremendous PR agency. You know, I realized over time that some of my friends, some of our dear friends, work for the Cabal's PR agency. And we can take a subject that's been on a lot of people's minds over the last few days and weeks as an example. You could take the movie that we talked about so much, The Sound of Freedom, right? The narrative that people are coming up with is the cabal, the dark forces, the deep state, the shadow governments, the Illuminati, the Club of Rome. I mean, you can call them WEF, whatever. They control everything. And you can only see what they allow you to see. And that's the narrative around this movie, of course. But who comes up with these narratives? And if you were attempting to take complete control over not just a society, but what people think and their emotions, well, wouldn't you want to make sure that your subjects knew that you were in control at all times, even if you weren't? Which is so much of the projection that you can learn about in The Art of War, for example. In The Art of War, thousands of year old book, you learn how to deceive the enemy. Projection, deception, to appear strong when you're weak and to appear weak when you're strong. All these things are extremely important. So the truth is that so many of the people out there who are on this awakening journey, who have good hearts and are desiring to create something better, are actually some of the most valuable assets of this Cabal's PR agency. Because no matter what you tell them, no matter how much you point to the absolutely astonishing positive development among the people of the earth, about the awakening of consciousness, about the reconnection with God, about the reconnection with nature, about the movements, the groups, the communities, they will always say, but then the Cabal will do this, and then they will do that, and this is how they're going to react, and then this is how they're going to crush this. You know, don't grow a garden because they're going to spray it. If they're not going to spray it, they're going to tax it. I mean, imagine. This is the dream scenario for a group that really isn't all that powerful, but has the appearance of being all powerful. It plants thoughts in everybody's minds. No matter what you do, we got you. We got you. We are powerful beyond your wildest imagination, and nothing you can do will stop us. And this is the devil's greatest trick. This is the biggest PR stunt that they pulled, because it's not true. They're not all powerful, and we're proving it every single day. At least the visible people. Of course, you don't see the invisible hand behind the scenes a lot of times, but the people that you can see that project a lot of power, project a lot of influence. Look at their lives. Look at their families. They can't even lead their own families. They can't make their own families work. They can't make their companies work harmoniously, or whatever they do. They cannot rule or lead or run the world. They literally can't. But what they can do is use their power, their money, and their influence to make everybody believe they can. They love these conspiracy theories that are out there that say they're all powerful. They don't fight that. They love the idea that, you know, the Illuminati, they have their hand in everything. They can control everyone. And only what they allow is what you can see. They love that crap. because they know it's not true. They know they cannot compete with the human spirit. They're fearing that, but they love that people believe that. Now, don't get me wrong. These people have power. These people have influence. They own a lot of the apparatus. But what they don't have is power over each and every individual who is on this awakening journey and who at least starting to establish a real authentic relationship with the creator. Because once that is happening in your life, and once you dedicate your attention, your intention to that process, you are connected to something so much higher that you could never fall back into the fear and into the ideas that you can be controlled by a dark hand behind the scenes. And so some of our dearest friends who are doing some great work are also, unbeknownst to them, working for the Cabal's PR agency, because they keep putting out these ideas that no matter what you do, oh, then social credit's going to get you. Oh, then digital ID is going to get you. Oh, then digital currency is going to get you. And I'm not saying they're wrong about these developments, and I'm not saying they're wrong about the intentions. What I'm saying is they are using their creativity constantly, and they're using their creative and constructive and manifesting thought to imprint these ideas on the field. When I look at information, I present that piece of information to establish further clarity. Because truly, only if you're aware of the full picture can you make up your mind about what it is that you truly desire. And so if until now there was enough comfort for people to not seek that authentic relationship with the creator because there was no sense of urgency, necessity, whatever that was, well, now is the time where there is a sense of urgency and necessity, and that oftentimes gets people to take that next step. And this is exactly what our whole work is really pointing to. Our whole work, the intention of our whole work is, please establish your connection, your relationship with the creator, because you've been taught through all the religious models, mostly, not everybody, but for the most part, people have been taught to not do that and to rely on interpreters, to rely solely on books and preconceived ideas that could have been authentic in the beginning, but were manipulated over time, that could still be authentic, but incomplete. And so if we have, and if we truly understand and understand that we are a spirit having the human experience, then that spirit also functions as our antenna. It functions as our connector and receiver. The key point in this is that with this antenna, we receive truth and authenticity, but it requires discipline. It requires showing up. And the appeal in only looking for information that's outside of you, the appeal of climbing down all these rabbit holes, believe me, it's not beyond me. I've done it and I've been doing it. And to a certain extent, sometimes I still am, but I believe I'm coming from a completely different intention now than I used to. And it used to be something that I would climb down and I would just be almost intoxicated in a very negative way by the sheer monumental power that such forces seem to have. And then I realized over time what they really have is a lot of control over the perception of people. And that a lot of times when these powers should seemingly try to suppress truthful information about them or conspiracy theories, they're the ones pushing them. They're the ones making sure that everybody hears about how powerful they are and how they can manipulate anyone into doing anything, and that really any attempt to do something positive, constructive, that goes against their ideas, it won't work. It's in vain. That's what they want us to believe. That's the Cabal's PR agency. And so often I see in this beautiful movement of truth and freedom loving people, agents that are unbeknownst to them agents and keep perpetuating this falsehood. On the other hand, those who are solely and ignorantly pretending that nothing nefarious is going on and it's all just about fun and joy and you know, you just have a fun ride and you don't pay attention to what's happening around you, that isn't good either. There's a balance, right? We're having a physical experience as spirits. So because we have both these components, we need to be balanced in this. And as a matter of fact, all of our bodily concept, the whole biochemistry in our body, how the brain functions, everything works on balance. When it's out of balance, out of whack, that's where the trouble comes from. So too much adrenaline, too much excitement, even on the positive side, over longer periods of time, the body cannot sustain. Same with stress. So balance is really where we find ourselves most often, ideally. And that's something that these forces seek to disturb constantly. And that's why you have to go within first, and you have to seek that. And that's why, weeks ago, we encouraged you all to start the 90-day transformation challenge. The 90-day transformation challenge is about, for a few minutes of the day, disconnecting from your physical senses and going into a deeper sphere. And it's very simple to do. The first step is pick a breath work exercise, and we point to Wim Hof because he's really good at this, and he's got those free videos on YouTube. So you do a 5-10 minute breath work exercise, then it's like your gateway into a short, beautiful, relaxing meditation journey, if you will. And for that journey, you simply pick the intention to feel and express gratitude. That's all, right? That's all you do. And after you start coming out of that state, you write down what you're grateful for authentically in that moment without trying to force it. Boom. The 3-step 90-day transformation journey. And why is it 90 days and why 3 steps? Well, first of all, these 3 steps are very simple. They don't cost you money. Anyone can do them. There are no excuses, right? So you can't come back and say, I can't do because, yes, you can. Anyone can do it. And the second thing, 90 days, because that's the amount of time at a minimum that it takes to significantly shift biochemical processes in your body, because these processes are established over time. So it takes some time to redirect them in a different way and to establish new habits and to establish new biochemistry in your body. That's why 90 days at a minimum. And after 90 days of doing it, you will want to do it more. The whole point of this exercise is not a self-serving thing. It brings more peace. It brings more gratitude. It brings more joy into your life. Yes, absolutely. Also brings more health. But in a bigger picture, it balances you. When you're balanced, you apply yourself to your reality completely different. That application has a bigger effect on everything. So you become a contributor of positive energy in the field. And that is so hugely important in these times, because when you withdraw that belief that there's an all-powerful elite out there that can somehow steer your every decision and move your knowing into something that you have control over, because you have control over your spirit, you have control over your thoughts, you have control over your feelings if you choose to have it. Now, if you don't choose to have it, or you live by default, then yes, you're correct. They do have control over you. Because if you don't control your mind, someone else will. There's a lot of people who have a vested interest in controlling your mind. At the least, it can make them a lot of money. But beyond that, it allows them to create whole structures that they want in a world. However, if you're in control of your thoughts, control of your feelings, and your actions subsequently, game over. Game over in a minute. These entities are functioning on much lower frequencies. That's how they want to pull you down. That's why they give you all the crap constantly. They feed you all the crap constantly, so it keeps you down, keeps you at their vibration. Because up here where you're naturally, they can't access that. They're bottom feeders. Don't be an agent unbeknownst to you. And how do you figure out if you are? If you can't, for the life of you, believe that there's something inherently positive, something inherently beautiful happening on Earth today. And if behind every positive development, you see the dark hand, and at no point can you imagine that there could be something like an authentic spiritual awakening happening, then you are an agent without knowing it. Now, when you're connected to God, you don't play by the worldly rules anymore. You don't play by the rules that these people set. You transcend these rules. You are more powerful, because what is of and with God is far more powerful. It will always outweigh the physical reality manipulations. That's why we see miracle after miracle after miracle in this world today. And that's why we see the truth shining so brightly. This is because we have set the intention for this period in our lives, right? The manifestation of truth. We've set these intentions for so long that now it is happening. It's truly an energy thing. You know, God didn't really need a PR agency, right? It's only the dark forces that need to find a way to sell their BS. But here we are, and we are in this world of conflicting ideas, in this spiritual warfare. So why don't we, for the time being, join God's PR agency? And we can only do that by receiving authentic messages and expressing ourselves authentically the way we were created. And that way we will become the best agents of God's message on earth. And more importantly, we will create what we were meant to do and destined to do. All right, my friends, thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll talk to you very, very soon. Hey, John Nolan here. I'm so excited to share my new song, Faith in Me, with you. It's about the journey so many of us are on in these times. Go to johnnolan.bandcamp.com to listen or click on the link down below.